tasks list on Canvas like usual. This is Unit 5, Lesson 6, U5L6. I have posted both an announcement and an assignment pulled up right here. There is a very short do now that I would like you to work through. It's just a video you need to watch. As the spring term is winding up, I'm getting a lot of questions about grades and missing assignments. And I just made a video to show you where you can check those. It's about 2.5 minutes long. So please open up that video and watch it. I'm going to time this for 3 minutes and we'll come back together to discuss. Go for it. We had 2 Google Sites today and 2 Kahoot quizzes. Kind of similar formats for both lessons. So anything new or interesting you learned from this particular one?
Seeing how old everything is pretty interesting.
I learned that humans have only been around for like 6 million years, but our solar system has been around for 4.571 billion years. So we are insignificant.
Yeah, as important as we think we are, we're just a blip on the timeline. What struck me was the different theories, and I like how they went through each year and sort of how this sort of slowly built up to our current understanding, right? Like 1904, they noticed the planetesimals, and then 1917, they were noticing other stars and putting things together. But it really looks like the 60s, which kind of makes sense. That's the era of the space race and all that other stuff was when really big breakthroughs started to happen. Any questions that popped into your mind?
Oh yeah, I had one. What technique do they use to find those exact dates of the universe, or like speculate those? Is it like similar to how we figure out Earth's age?
It's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in. I do know that a lot of stuff has to do with radioactive decay and our understanding of that we understand that there's certain elements that they're able to tell how long it takes certain elements to decay into other elements. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of carbon-14, but we were able to pretty accurately track how much carbon-14 is present in a certain thing. However, that's Earth. So that's how they're able to say, like, oh, this fossil is 250,000 years old. It's because of carbon dating. That would not work for universal stuff. Like, yeah, saying that the sun is 4.6 billion years old. It's like, I don't know entirely how they have a good grasp of that, other than that we are able to study the radioactive decay of other elements that take a lot longer to go through it. So I think that's what it's from. But I guarantee you that all those numbers you hear are guesses, are estimates, and that in reality, if you were to look at it more specifically, I'm sure that they are basically, we have an idea of ranges of time, but they're going to be on hundreds of thousands of years, like unimaginable amounts. So yeah, it's a good question. As far as my understanding is that they're just sort of the most widely accepted guesses. That's a good question. I don't know if anyone else knows anything more about it, but what struck me about this lesson too is that they go up to 1964 was the last like nebular theory that they post. And I don't know, the question that came to my mind was like, okay, but has there been anything more recent or any more recent breakthroughs? Or are we pretty much like, oh, like what they found in the 60s is just widely accepted today, which is true for a lot of space stuff. I mean, that's when a lot of breakthroughs were made, but I was just curious about more recent theories, or if anything's come up that's contradicted their current observations from the 1960s. But I don't know. Again, didn't take the time to look into that myself. The other thing that struck me about the video, I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but it really, I think, showed how violent some of this planet formation was. There's that one moment where things like exploding on the planet and stuff. And I don't know, I feel like they did a good grasp of how crazy it must have been initially. I don't think anything happened that fast in reality, but this was not a pleasant place to be when Earth was first forming. Any comments on the site itself or the Kahoot? think they did a good job putting it together too. I think it was a little bit more on the simpler side, especially when you compare it to like what Tammy Kiyomi put together. But you know, still conveyed information really well, I think. So, all right. Any other questions or comments? Well, congratulations, guys. You have made it through 8 online lessons. I know that was a bit of a slog, but you were the ones who taught Chapter 28 to each other. And so now you should be well prepared to take an assessment based on this. And so what I'm going to do is stitch together the questions that you submitted. Luna and Kiara, I saw your questions. Thank you very much for that. And I will include one multiple choice and one free response question from Cora and Olive as well, based on this lesson that you worked through. Again, the test will be on Canvas. There's no time limit. You'll come to class. We'll do a little bit of introductory stuff, but then you'll have a majority of the period to work on the test, and you can keep working on it afterwards if you need to, though hopefully you'll be done. And it's open notes, open book, whatever. I'm not going to try to control anything. So that's that. Any other questions on the assessment coming up? All right, and there's a study guide and review slides online for you. So that's your only homework leading in. Just make sure you've provided all the feedback to the different lessons. All right, kids, that is it for me today. Thank you very much. Have a good one. I'll hang around if anyone wants to talk about anything individually. Landon, I would like to check in with you if you don't mind hanging out about a few things. All right, have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.